obviously due to climate change, but now for this crisis which is going on in the West Asia, countries and individuals and institutions, I mean, the entities are looking forward for a transition to renewables and the system that can save them in a very futuristic way, in a very, I mean, in some sort of an urgency, but to maintain growth and to invest in the infrastructures. There are so many fiscal barriers and others. We have today with us an expert on that and who has been working on similar subject in the Denmark. And now he's with us, Mr. Nadeem. Very warm welcome.
Thank you so
Say a
much.
few things, how an individual country, I'm talking about the level of the sovereign, how they can maintain the, I mean, fiscal preposition, growth, and electricity intensity at the same time and do the transition.
Yeah, it's a very good question. I mean, of course, in order to grow as a country, you need to have economic development. And normally you see for developing countries that when you have economic growth, then your electricity production increases in the same magnitude. So I think the challenge is to have this economic growth as sustainable as possible using the most energy efficient technologies in order to make the industries more competitive. So this is a long sort of struggle. I mean, it doesn't happen overnight. I think the government has to put in regulation promoting energy efficient technologies, putting maybe some kind of tax. It could be energy tax or CO2 tax on very polluting technologies, and maybe provide some kind of incentives for energy efficient technologies. So it should be implementing some kind of a stick and carrot model to push the green technologies, including the green agenda. I think that's important.
But if you're talking about the level of the sovereign, I think there's a limit that you can use stick. It has to be carrot more than the stick. You agree with me?
I fully agree. I think according to the Danish experiences, we have always focused on developing carrots that are bigger than the stick, because that will make the transition. I mean, this is
or a stick made up of a carrot, a long carrot.
Yeah, maybe, but you need to attract the industries and the stakeholders, and you need to invent some kind of carrot which is attractive enough for them in order to interact with the government to make this green transition. Because government cannot do it on their own just by passing policies. I mean, they have to engage the stakeholders and the industries.
Ultimately, it boils down to consumer and manufacturer, to the businesses.
Yeah, definitely.
And, businesses are more concerned on numbers and the balance sheet and all because they place their stock and IPOs and everything.
Yeah.
So how many sort of carrots are there other than the fiscal incentive?
I mean, there's also non-fiscal incentives, of course. In a fiscal constrained environment, which is the case in Pakistan, maybe you have to think of non-fiscal incentives. Non-fiscal incentives could be, providing assistance in terms of training energy managers, energy auditors, deliver good energy audit reports for the enterprises, maybe help in ISO 50001 certification. So there can be a lot of incentives which are non-fiscal. And even the donor, I think, organizations could actually help sort of supporting those kind of incentives. So I know that fiscal incentives may be difficult, but at least the government should consider non-fiscal incentives.
When the West implemented this big change, especially the Denmark, it was in a very laid-back fashion, but it was front-loaded over a long period of time. Now it's an urgency. Do you think there should be some retrofitting of how did you do that for Pakistan? I'm especially talking about because if the government or the sovereign is not going to do that, then the people are bypassing them. For example, the solarization. And in some cities, I was hearing there was some sort of a small video. They say we have the solar panels, and now the next is the battery. Goodbye to the Wabda. So how to retrofit the Danish program and all, which suits the local environment, especially in Pakistan?
I mean, of course, our program should always be demand-driven. So we need to very carefully listen to our government authorities in Pakistan. What are the current challenges? What are the issues? But I think not only the government, we should also address the private sector, the NGOs, the think tanks, because they often have their own views on how sort of to tackle the challenges the country is in. So I think our program should be very much, adaptable to the situation Pakistan is in. So it should be demand-driven, in my view.
So last, do you think some sort of a narrative need to be built upon that? Because, ultimately, some people say that Iran war is stuck on everyone want to have their own narrative at the end of the day. So narrative is very important. How to build narrative around energy?
I think narrative is actually the same. I mean, every time you see some kind of international crisis, it can be the oil crisis back in the 70s. It can be the recent crisis with the Ukraine war. Now it's the oil crisis again. So you always have a crisis, which is a burning platform for many countries. So the narrative, I think, is the same. And that's why energy efficiency is so important, because this is the first option many countries have when they see international crises like this. They focus on energy efficiency. They try to save the fuel as much as possible. But it's much easier when you have been promoting energy efficiency, because then your system is designed in an energy efficient way and it uses less fuel, right? So it should be embedded in the policy somehow in Pakistan.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And the bottom line is that now is the time to do footwork, adopt good policies, not in haste, be diligent on policy making, be very, very with a pinch of salt, but develop policy, do the due diligence, then implement it upfront. You can be quicker on that as well. If that can be done, and now is the time, because everyone is focused on this issue we are talking about, because of the war in West Asia, because of the threat that sword of the Damocles hangs on. With this, we come to the end of the program. I'm your host, Tahir Dhinsa, for SDTV. Bye for now.